Good morning, folks. Another edition of Wynn's Life. I'm back again. I'm on the Monton Street estate. Remember the old Monton Street Christ Church? Beautiful church. And the old Webster Primary School is. Take a tour down some of these old paths that were here. But today, what I'm talking about today, guys, is a subject that I find very, very touching and sour. It's about Reform UK and Mr. Nigel Farage. One guy who I wouldn't trust as far as I've thrown him. Cutting down this path here. Sun's out today, so the very, very pixels, not as bright as normal. Don't know why I'm getting poor light, because when I first got this phone, it was okay. Maybe because I'm in the shade. But I was walking down some of these paths that have been touched and cleaned for years. This is not just a Labour problem, this is a problem that the Conservative government knew about years ago, about rubbish and stuff being dumped all over the place. But Reform UK, getting massive votes in the UK now. And basically, I can't vote Nigel Farage. Sorry. For a man who was a big part of Brexit, for a man who made millions and millions of pounds and saw the UK economy basically go to pot, and then they want to blame migration, and all they seem to do is talk about migration. Well, Mr. Farage, my parents came here in the 1950s and they done their part. And they worked their socks off. And they were immigrants who came here during the Windrush. My mum came just after the year or two afterwards. So when you hear people talking every single day, blaming migrants, blaming, look at the stuff that migrants have brought to the UK. Look at the stuff that migrants have done for the UK. Most of the infrastructure that is built around the UK are built by migrants. Churches from way going back. Some of the stuff that they brought to the UK. Look what the Asian communities brought. Chinatown, big curry houses. Also Asian people of Pakistan origin who have done so well in the UK to help the economy big and bolster the economy. And then people want to talk about migrants are taking this, migrants taking that. But yet, even before Keir Starmer took power, the place, they were still giving money to other countries. UK gets a lot of money to fight a war that hasn't got basically nothing to do with the UK, unless there's something in there for us. Look at this path here. I can remember this path being clear years ago. This was an old school, this. And you know what? Since I remember leaving school, this closed down. It's never been done up ever since. Back onto the subject. When people going about migrants all the time, just remember what the things the migrants have done for the country. They're the ones who worked in the hospitals. They're the ones who helped after the war, helped disabled soldiers, helped grieving parents, mothers and fathers, especially mothers who had lost their loved one in the war. Guys who like I said, who were shot. And basically, a lot of the jobs that were done by Caribbean migrants, Indian migrants back in them days, Irish migrants back in them days, a lot of the jobs that the British people didn't want to do. So, when people say that migrants are taking their job, their homes. No, they're not. The British system has made a lot of money, and the money doesn't go out to the poor people. Poor people are the ones who suffer at the hands of governments. You become MPs, you become leaders, you make promises, and the promises are never kept. Promises are never kept. And this is why we have a lot of infrastructure, a lot of places like this that never get touched, because MPs can't be asked to go around and walk around and check things. But yet, people are blaming migrants for taking their jobs, when, for a start, what job did they take? Because when Brexit came into power, Brexit basically fucked up the country. The guy who does the Apprentice came on telly the other day, and he openly says that Brexit basically has ruined the UK, ruined it, because basically no one wants to deal with England. Nobody wants to deal with England anymore, because England has got nothing. That's why we're struggling. Housing shortages are the main things. People sleep on the street, rough sleepers. Yet the government MP are living in big fat houses, don't go out in the areas and walk around like what I'm doing today. When was the last time that was swept? You think Nigel Farage is going to come out and sort this out? Sort out the bushes and everything in the areas? Because rich MPs will look after themselves. And Mr. Farage is going to be no different. They're blaming people who are so-called migrants. They don't seem to blame anybody else. There was jobs out there for people years ago, never wanted to take it. A lot of Caucasian people didn't want to take them jobs. So a lot of the migrants who came over here, who needed money, worked their socks off, worked hard. Some doing 72 hours a week as security guards, some working in the hospital, driving buses, cleaning down waste, driving trains, all sorts of stuff. Bus drivers, because there's such a shortages back in the 60s and 70s and 50s, because most of the soldiers, most of the guys were actually killed in the war. But during the war, migrants also fought for the UK. The Burkas, the Jamaicans, the Barbadians, all the Caribbean, Commonwealth. Also, the Canadians, Arawak Indians, they fought for the UK. And that's why the UK is what it is today, because migrants actually built the UK. Makes the economy strong. What would you do if there was no curry houses and no more curry houses? If people decided that enough's enough and say we can't take this no more? Because every time a migrant gets blamed, it's either apparently for crime in the UK, crime, when you don't realise that crime is not just a migrant thing. Crime is everybody, ethnic, Caucasian, you name it, they commit crime in the UK. It's as simple as that. So when I hear people saying about the Rochdale scandal, the Rochdale scandal is not just Asian. There's also agendas there that are hidden, where people have done stuff to young people, to young girls. Look at the Church of England. Look at certain Catholic churches that have molested young children and stuff. And it's all gone underneath the carpet. This is why people need to realise voting Nigel Farage, voting Reform UK is not going to make no difference to me. I class the far right. Class Reform UK as a far right group. To me, just far right. That's all they are. No different to anywhere else or any other group that teaches that kind of stuff. Yeah, they may have like a couple of Asian guys on their finger, the odd black person. But Reform UK, what's the reform? Because most of the reform, every time I hear, and they class people of colour, it's either them or they. When someone classes someone as them or they, that to me that shows the narrative of narrow-minded what they're like, them or they. And people got names. And people not got names. To class you as them or they. That don't make sense to me. The workmen are working, doing the roads, well paid. Look at the fence blown down by the wind. And this is what Reform UK reckon they're going to do. How the heckers like? How the heckers like? Listen, they're all MPs at the end of the day. They're all MPs, and all the MPs do really is line the pockets, talk jabber, talk rubbish, and people fall for it. Reform UK, Mr. Farage. Nigel Farage is one dangerous man. He's an imposter. He's a man that will never be trusted. Because right now, the UK's on its arse. Starmer's giving money to the Ukrainians to fight. But before that, the Conservative government was giving money to the Ukrainians to fight. So it doesn't... people who knock Starmer... I'm not a Keir Starmer fan, by the way. I think he's a rubbish Prime Minister. Not because what he's thinking. I think everything he talks about during Labour, to me, when he was going to be Prime Minister, didn't really add up to me. But neither the Conservative government. And if you get Reform UK in, basically all they're going to do is give the police more power. And then basically it's just going to be another Donald Trump. And say, right, kick the people who have been out here for years, who haven't renewed the passports. Some people who were born here who haven't renewed the passport because they don't know how to do it. Nigel Farage is going to be like Donald Trump. It's going to be worse than Donald Trump if he gets in power. His second favourite right now to take over, to win the leader of the government, to be the Prime Minister. And it's really scary to know that people are just doing it because they want migrants out of the country. And what the migrants have done have brought in a lot of money into the UK. What's the UK ever built? What have they ever really built? Or are they given back to the world? What have they really given back to the world? What great thing ever comes from the UK? Because most of the products come from abroad. Most of the churches in the UK, all the big monasteries, are built by slaves. Came 500 years ago. Migrants came here 500 years ago. Well, them migrants were slaves. Now, 500 years on, they want to say, get out. I don't blame migrants for everything, because my parents were migrants. My parents were hard-working people. And they worked very, very hard. Lovely morning. Worked very, very hard. And I know if Keir Starmer comes in, because remember Keir Starmer supports Donald Trump, and he's got the same agenda as Donald Trump, and they will liaise together, but their number one priority is to kick migrant people out. NHS is in a dilemma because it cannot get no migrant workers. Picking fruit is a dilemma because they can't get migrant workers. This is why we're getting stale food from the shelves that have been in warehouses for 2 weeks, and most of it comes from abroad. Nothing comes from the UK because they don't want people here. And there's people coming on saying that, blaming the migrant community. Well, I don't think it's fair. Do not think it's fair at all. So I won't be voting Keir Starmer in the next election or whatever, because exactly what happened in France, Germany, is the same thing that's happened in the UK. Far-right group trying to take over. they're no better than they're no better than the NF, no better than the National Front. So I won't be voting them at all, and I won't be voting Keir Starmer. I won't be voting Keir Starmer again, and I certainly will not be voting Nigel Farage. There's not a chance. He's dangerous. He's dangerous to society. Yes, brother, you all right? Yes, our kid. Dangerous to society. The man's a danger. The man's another Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump's mate. And that's why people's got to be careful voting a guy who I think is just another far-right leader. So guys, please like and subscribe to my video. Tell me what you think of Reform UK. I think you're a bag of shite. I just think they're a far-right group. It ain't going to change Britain. What can you change about the UK? There's money in the UK, but I'd rather give the money to the rich people or send the money to war, to fight a war. That's not going anywhere. Look after your own people. And I'll tell you something, Farage won't. Farage will be doing exactly what he thought Brexit would. This is just his next agenda. Because Brexit failed, so now he decided to form the Reform UK. Reform UK is exactly the same thing, as the same agenda. What Trump said, let's make America great again. Same words that Nigel Farage used, let's make Britain great again. But he messed up on fucking Brexit, big time. He turned the NHS into basically a non-existent society where waiting times are on a scale. There's hardly any migrant workers there to clean your wounds, to do the jobs that no one wanted to do. Got to remember something, what migrant workers have done. They're not all dangerous, they're not all gangsters, and they will work harder than anybody else to make a living. You know what I mean? To make a living, where some in the UK won't or don't want to do anything. It's as simple as that. It's straightforward, it's as simple as that. So guys, short video. Please like and subscribe to my page. I'm on a slow walk today, enjoying. The weather's quite nice. Nice walk through the park. The mornings like this, absolutely fantastic. So guys, please like and subscribe to my page. Share my videos, share the contents. Tell me what you think about Reform UK, because they're fast becoming a national party. I think Nigel Farage is a dangerous man, very, very, very dangerous man. I do not trust him as far as I throw him. So please guys, like, subscribe and share my videos. I'm Winnie's from Winnie's Life. Like I said, I've got lots more to do. As soon as the weather starts getting warm, I'll be venturing out a little bit more in different areas. But right now I'm just enjoying the day. And tell me what you think about the Ancoats video I've done the other day, because I think Ancoats has changed a lot. I didn't find the people very, very friendly at all around there. It's totally different. But yes guys, enjoy your day, whatever you do. And basically, it's a lovely day. Take care.